this 5-point program idea that China has. It's a return to founding principles in international affairs, prioritizing efficiency and results, focusing on actionable measures, strengthening research and analysis, and taking a balanced approach towards development, peace and security, and human rights. And the reason behind this is that, we're facing 3 converging crises: legitimacy, effectiveness, and vision. In terms of legitimacy, this is where the Global Governance Initiative is offering a blueprint to reform that gives the Global South a meaningful voice, correcting a historical deficit. In terms of effectiveness, from pandemics to climate change, the current system is too slow and fragmented. The Global Governance Initiative's unique values, its integrated approach, and it's advocating that be extended. In terms of vision, the world is presented with false choices. It's not between a unipolar hegemony or a chaotic multipolarity. It's really about a third way, a cooperative, orderly multipolarity. Its value of all of this is the vocabulary of win-win cooperation, a community with a shared future, providing a positive alternative to this kind of zero-sum thinking.
Einar, I wonder if you could give us some specific examples of how the GDI is helping developing countries on issues like we're talking about food security, healthcare, even clean energy.
I mean, in all those areas, you have to look no further than the Belt and Road Initiative, which over these last 12 years has put over $1 trillion into infrastructure, improving everything from green transition, building roads, building capacity. These are the things that are necessary. These are measurable outcomes, and you can see it clearly in the growth numbers of all of these countries that have cooperated in this. And these are the types of things that are necessary. This idea that you can have a concept and that somehow that will feed people, it doesn't work. You have to have plans, specific, and programs, and funding. And then it has to be coordinated, and it has to be completed. And this is what China has been offering for 12 years. This is not new. A lot of people think that the Global Governance Initiative is something that's just being thrown out there. No, it's been a carefully orchestrated move towards having a global community, one that works and one that probably requires the UN to look very seriously at how it's operating. It's doing that now under fiscal pressure, but it has to offer something more, and there has to be a joint commitment to it from all countries involved.
Einar, the Global Governance Initiative talks about reforming international institutions and giving the Global South a greater voice. What specific changes is China actually pushing for at the UN?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, one of the greatest irritants today, and we see this with Gaza and the votes on it, in terms of sanctioning Israel or telling them to stop this genocidal offensive, is this security arrangement where there are 5 members who are more equal than others. Right now, there are countries like India who say, oh, we should be joining that group, but perhaps it's time to start thinking about getting rid of that group. If you want a multipolar organization, it has to be done with consensus, with people being equal, countries being equal. So that could be part of it. But across the board, this idea that if you're big and powerful, that you can make the rules has to stop. It has to be consensus. Peace cannot be achieved any other ways. If you force countries into situations they don't like, they will harbor resentment, and at some point, this will explode into the open, creating conflict. So it's time to stop, rethink, and redraw up how you can prioritize what the UN stands for, which is a global community.
So how have these initiatives been received beyond China, internationally? Do you see them as filling some real gaps, or are they largely about extending China's influence in the world order?
Well, it depends on your perspective. I mean, of course, in Washington, they say, oh, this is just an elaborate plan to dethrone us. It really isn't. I mean, China has been doing this for over 12 years. They put in enormous amounts of resources. They're even doubling down this year, almost $500 billion of aid going out to Belt and Road initiatives. They're stepping up the slack. China has filled in quietly where the U.S. has withdrawn, especially when it comes to issues of vaccines and health. You can believe somebody when they act on what they say. If they just talk is cheap. Right now, what the world wants is action, a plan, one that, as I said, delivers measurable results for the many, many people of the global south who are very interested in this, perhaps a little bit lukewarm in the United States and also Europe.